0, 1.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like. Now today we're going to be talking about the rapper Kanye West, or Ye, or Ye as he now goes by. Kanye West put out a tweet on yesterday stating that he had an incestuous relationship with his cousin, that he had a sexual relationship with his cousin. He said when he was I think his cousin was 6. He doesn't give his age at the time when it began, but he said he's found, I guess, adult magazines in his father's closet or somewhere in his father's area, but in his mother's, top of her closet, he found some different type of magazines, as he's put it, and they began to act out what they saw, which apparently were homosexual magazines. And he says that at the end of the tweet that he gave his male cousin oral pleasure until he was 14. So we know his cousin was 6, but we don't have the age of Kanye West at that particular time or what the age difference is. So I don't know what the legal ramifications is. I'm pretty sure it would probably be beyond the statute of limitations, but you never know. Now, a lot of people are saying that after Kanye West's mother passed away is when he began to act out, if you will. But I want to take us back, and we're going to take a look at this video, and then we'll get started.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
And this took place in 2005, right after Hurricane Katrina. Some of you may recall the devastating hurricane that took place in New Orleans and Louisiana, definitely along the southern coast. A lot of people lost their lives. A lot of people lost all of their belongings. They had to start from scratch. And it seemed like the government was very slow in moving to, allocate aid and all of that. And so they were doing, as they do with any type of natural disaster take place, they do like telethons to get people to, come in and send money. So they would have celebrities come on and, really kind of pull at your heartstrings to get you to donate. And so actor, I believe his name is Mike Myers, who does like the Austin Powers film, and Kanye West, they were doing teleprompter read, and Kanye went off the rails. And he was saying his own thing in between takes, or in between Mike would speak from the teleprompter, and then instead of Kanye reading the teleprompter, he would say what he wanted to say. And of course, then that's when he said that George Bush, who was then president, doesn't like black people. And a lot of people, oh yeah, Kanye West is really for black people. He really cares about us. He's, telling it like it is. But what we forget is that Kanye West had an album out at the same time. Here begins the pattern. Kanye West always has a lot to say to the masses whenever he has an album coming out. People wanted to relay it to his mom passing and him acting out and seeking attention. And I'm not going to say that, post her, passing, that maybe that has some sort of influence to the way that it kind of amped up a bit. But that began a historical pattern of him and these outrageous outbursts, these, the things that he says to generate attention, because guess what? Coincidentally, Kanye West has the album out. And they say there's no news is bad news, or no press is bad press, right? So after that took place, his mom passed away in 2007, which was 2 years after Hurricane Katrina. And then, of course, since then, he drops, albums pretty regularly. But after that, then there was the VMAs with Taylor Swift. And I think it was Video of the Year. And Beyonce had that ring on it. And he came up and said that Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. Took the mic from her. But he had an album out. And now, again, to bring to date all the way to 2025, he puts out another album, has an album out called Bully. And what's the best way to promote an album is to advertise it, to generate news, media around it, to get the mainstream and social media personality, content creators, podcasters to talk about, the tweet that he put out. And what could be more? I mean, he's pretty much has said it all at this point. I mean, at this point, he would have to say he knew where they hid Jimmy Hoffa. Like at this point, he would have to know, give us the codes to the nukes, or he would have to know where the weapons of mass destruction are, because he's pretty much has said it all. And now he's saying that he had a incestuous relationship, sexual relationship with his cousin while they were both kids, and not just an incestuous relationship, which is terrible and disgusting as it is. But then he adds in the fact that we were both male, right? Because he know that people will probably, maybe perhaps, what's more salacious, right? A hetero incestuous relationship or a homo incestuous relationship. Let's just call a thing a thing. A homosexual relationship would really, incestuous relationship would really grab the attention of people, because, he's a black male and he's a black rapper, and now he's a black male rapper, and he's, excessively rich, and now he's admitting that he had these homoerotic desires that he acted out with his cousin, and when they were kids, and let's just put it all in there. Let's just make a whole big old bag of nasty because I have an album come out, and I don't want to make light of this. I guess this is why I'm kind of passionate about it, because I've never followed him, but I blocked him because I never even wanted to see his tweets. But seeing this out there yesterday, I was like, okay, I have to say something, because I try not to give any energy to him, because to me, at the heart of everything, that's what he wants, is your energy, your attention, your time to be talking about it. Oh, what's the latest, Kanye West thing? It's almost like, the latest, on the news, the latest weather. Like people say, oh, how's the weather? It's like he wants to be the topic of conversation. But I had to speak on this because there are victims out there that, were and still are, people that are sexually abused, and especially children. And my heart always goes out to children and to the elderly, people that are seemingly defenseless, right? Because if you're in a home with your parents and someone in, maybe your parents or a sibling or something, someone older or in an authoritative position is sexually molesting you or even harming you in any type of way, you feel utterly defenseless. And so that my heart pours out to that. And so for me, because he has a historical pattern of always saying the most outrageous things, like I think, what was it, last month or month before last, he was saying that Sir, which is Beyonce and Jay-Z's son, their only son, has some sort of disability, like worse to worse, and now was giving oral pleasure to my cousin when we were both kids. So to me, he always says the worst of the worst. And now to bring his deceased mother into it, which I think is insult to injury, because I'm of the perception, I'm of the group think, or I'm of the individual thought that you're saying this. I don't wholeheartedly believe it's true. I think it's about you trying to promote your album, because guess what? He put this tweet out about the incestuous relationship, and it happens to be a song on his album. He's not, going on, Good Morning America or one of these, morning talk shows or Tamron Hall or something like that, saying how he had this traumatic experience and he's in therapy getting help. And he, I know his cousin, he said his cousin is in prison and he's, not making any conversation about maybe his cousin is getting help. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem like it's something that's wholeheartedly sincere and he's trying to grow and heal from, right? It's like, hey, this happened to me. Here's the song about it. Here it go. go stream it, album out now. If that doesn't seem like the biggest ploy of a boy calling wolf or whomever calling wolf, I don't know what is. And I'm at the point now to where, again, I never followed him, so I don't even know if he's signed to a label, if he has I'm pretty sure someone of that mindset probably has his own label at this point. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on with him musically, career-wise. But if he's on a label, I mean, at this point, unless, I mean, but I was going to say if you could prove, but how do you prove it, right? You would have to find his cousin, and his cousin would have to agree, which, pay him enough money, or you just never know. But this is just disgusting. And I'm at a point where I kind of just wish he would go away. Like, you made enough money, you got your, music. You have I don't know if he still has that deal with Adidas. I know when he came out and was saying all those anti-Semitic comments that he was getting dropped left and right. So it seemed like they were trying to work something out, or I can't remember, because again, I don't follow him. I don't generally keep up with him at all. Like, I'll maybe see something on the news, or maybe one of my favorite content creators will say something about it, and I might just, take a sneak peek, but then I move on, because it's like, again, it's the boy who called whoop. I've had enough. It's been, 20 years of the same bull crap. Excuse me. And I'm just entirely over it. But I just had to speak on this particular tweet because it's about children. He was a child at the time. His cousin, definitely a child at the time. And so it struck a chord because these are kids. And that's real trauma. And there are real victims out there that are going through things like this. And so if it's not true and you're just saying this to promote records, is vile. It's extremely vile and disgusting. I was getting ready to say something from one of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Mama Joyce was like, ain't no mountain high enough or river low enough, to keep me off your ass. It's ridiculous. But I would like to see the general collective, meaning the mass population of people who love music, who may be followers of him or enjoy his music in any type of fashion, to just hold him accountable. Again, it'd be hard to prove that it did or did not happen, because how do you prove something that happened, probably almost 40 years ago now, unless they found the cousin and the cousin said, yes, this did happen. And I almost still would be skeptical, because it's like, would he come out against his famous cousin who could potentially, or maybe, sending him money, or you just never know, He's just not a credible, Kanye West is not a credible source to me to listen to in any shape, form, or fashion. He's just not credible. And anybody that aligns themselves with him, to me, that makes them not credible as well. But if it did happen, if he is in some way, admitting the truth, and this did happen, well, yeah, of course, I hope he gets help. I hope he gets the therapy he needs. And I hope his cousin gets the therapy that he needs as well. And, bid him the best, bid him well. But if not, just, enough. Again, because at this point he's made, and I get, as an artist, you probably just want to continue on. You want to stay relevant. You don't want to, have your yesteryears, but he's at a particular season in life to where, to me, the focus should probably be on other endeavors, right? You've done all the touring. You've done how many albums has he have now? I have no idea. It's probably a ridiculous amount. All of the awards you won. At what point do you say, okay, I'm going to move into this? Like Jay-Z, whatever his last album was, and he moved on, and now he does, producing and things like that. He's a family man. music almost, well, I was gonna say rap is kind of like for the young, right? It's kind of like playing professional sports. Like you don't play it until you're 50 and 60. You know, at some point it becomes a young man's game, and you are the legend and you give advice. Um, but that's my take on that. Time will tell if it's true, or maybe time won't tell if it's true, because that's a hard thing to prove. But to all of the victims out there, the true victims of domestic abuse, sexual abuse, mental, emotional abuse, to all of the victims out there, I bid you well, and I bid you good health. Thanks for taking the time to watch.